Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today's video is going to be the third and final part of turning this F150 here behind me that I got for really cheap into a pretty sweet rig that's going to be kind of an overlander, but also just a truck that you can camp in. Today's video, we got quite a few things we're going to be doing to it. We're going to be replacing the headlights, tail lights, some aftermarket lighting, a few other little things, and then at the end I'm going to be cleaning up the interior and the engine bay because it's really filthy right now, and it'll look pretty much brand new when I'm done, so make sure you stick around to the end to see that. All right, guys, so here are the headlights. They look super cool. As you can see, they have that black housing right there. So let's get these installed onto the truck. And just like that, we got both the new headlights installed. I think they look super good, although they might kind of be clashing with this chrome grille, which we might change later on, maybe not. Let me know down below. But for the meantime, this is how it's gonna look. So now let's go move on and get those taillights replaced. Here are the new taillights. These are the Raptor taillights. I think these look absolutely great. They have that nice black frame like the headlights do. I'll do a little side-by-side comparison so you can see these taillights versus the old taillights. I just got those taillights installed and they look phenomenal. That dark black frame matches the canopy and the wheels so well. I think it looks great. So now that we got the taillights in, let's go get those LED pod lights installed. Here are the pod lights that I'm going to be installing. They seem super high quality, or the really durable exterior. Doesn't seem like any moisture or anything will get in there. And then these are the brackets that we're going to be using, and this is the wiring harness right here. And I'll just show you how these brackets work. They will use the hood bolts down there, and it'll bolt kind of like that, and the bracket will sit like that, and then the light will get mounted on top of the bracket. We just got the brackets installed here for the pod lights. It was a pretty easy install. You just have to remove the hood bolts, hold the hood up, then put the bolts back in with the bracket, and I just made some marks there to make sure that the hood would line back up. So now that we got the brackets in on both sides, what we can do is install the pod lights right here, and then after we get those installed, we will set the wiring harness up. So what I did right here is just kind of laid out the wiring harness in the same layout of the engine bay. The battery's over here, lights are up there, and then I need to get the switch to the driver's seat, which would be right there. So now that I have a general idea of how I'm going to lay out the wiring harness, let's get it in the truck. All right, so I just finished installing the pod lights and the wiring harness, so I'll just kind of walk you through what I did. Starting right here, we have the pod light installed, and then we have the cable here. It runs right here, and then it kind of goes into the fender. And then what I did is I tried to keep it as clean as possible, so I put the relay for the light switch back here behind the headlight, and all the extra cable is back there as well. So that's where the relay is. And then I have the wire for the switch and the wire for the other light running right here, under here, down, and then it comes up right here. And this right here is the cable for the other light, as you can tell. And then down here is the cable for the switch that I ran into the cab, and I used this grommet down there, as you can tell, and I just kind of poked a little hole in it for the cable and pushed it through the cab. And then if we come in here on the cab, I mounted the switch for the lights right here. Once it gets dark outside, I am going to show you guys and test out these lights for the first time and showing you guys how much of a difference these lights are going to make at night. It's now dark outside, and we are going to be testing out the pod lights. One of them is right there. And so right now the normal low beams are on the truck, and I'll turn the pod lights on in 3, 2, 1. So as you can tell, the pod lights are super bright and they really illuminate what's on the left and the right side of the truck, because normally with just the normal low beams, it's really hard to see. But these things are insanely bright, and they're gonna help so much at nighttime seeing what's on the sides of the road. So I'm gonna go outside and give you guys a walk around and show you how bright these things are. So as you can tell, these lights are insanely bright, and it's just gonna help a ton at nighttime, and it even makes the truck look pretty sweet. So now that we got the lights installed, I'll catch you guys in the morning, and we will start working on repairing that back glass on the canopy that, if you remember, I broke earlier on in this series of working on the truck. Okay, so I just finished up installing the rear glass here. It actually took a lot more work than I expected, because each little piece here on the bottom, the side, and the top is a different depth that the glass goes into. So there was a lot of trimming required to make sure that I got it into the little seal notch here just right on all sides. But as you can see, it fits in there really well and it looks good. When you open it, it doesn't bounce around or anything like that. It's nice and secure in there. And then to install the bottom, I just used some rivets right here on each side to hold it in. So now it's pretty much good as new, except it just has a piece of plexiglass. So the only thing left to do to the truck now is give it a deep clean. So let's get that done. Now that I've removed the floor mats, the cup holder inserts, the mats that go inside the center console, the first thing that I'm going to be doing is just giving it a nice and very thorough vacuum just to get all this loose stuff out of here. So I was originally just going to leave the seats in and vacuum, but the further I got, the more dog hair and other stuff I realized there was under the seats. So I decided to pull the seats out, since it's only 4 bolts and a couple electrical connections per seat. But one thing that's just crazy to me is how good of shape this truck is for 220,000 miles. For those of you guys who have watched the last series I did on a Ford EcoBoost, and for those who haven't, I highly recommend going to watch that. I'll put the link right up here. But that truck only had 60,000 miles on it and was completely trashed. And this truck has 220,000 miles on it and is in so much better shape. It's just a little bit dirty, as you can tell. It just goes to show that if you keep care of your vehicles, they can last for a super long time. So now that we have the seats out, I'm just gonna finish vacuuming all this stuff here up. So the last thing that's left to do now that everything else is complete is to just clean all these rubber mats with the steam cleaner. The steam cleaner works super, super well on rubber mats like this with grime that's kind of stuck into it. So you can kind of see the results for yourself here in a second, but let's get this all finished up. The interior is looking absolutely fantastic, and pretty much it's completely done. The only thing that I'm still going to do is apply some leather conditioner onto the seats, since I cleaned them really thoroughly and I just want to ensure that the leather is going to stay in good condition for as long as possible. So I'm going to do that real quick, and then the interior is completely finished. Just finished up cleaning the inside of the truck, and I'm gonna go show you guys just how good it looks. Here we are inside the truck, and it turned out absolutely fantastic. The seats look incredible. I would say they almost look brand new even if it weren't for a couple tears in them. The center console here is so much cleaner than it was. I had no idea that it was going to turn out this good, and yeah, pretty much the entire interior just turned out way better than I expected. And so I'm absolutely thrilled with how good the interior looks. All right, guys, well, this is the end of the truck build. I'm absolutely thrilled with how good this thing turned out. I'm super excited to take this thing off-road and use some of the features and modifications that I added onto it, and I'll make sure I make a video of that. What I'm planning on doing is making a future video where I kind of take this thing off-road, show you guys how well it'll perform, and then also do a cost breakdown, showing you guys how much I'm into this truck, and it's actually a lot cheaper than you might think. So make sure you keep on the lookout for that video. But for those of you who are still watching, thank you. And in the next video, I'm going to be doing a car reveal. But since you guys decided to stay till the end of this video, I'm going to give you guys just a little bit of a sneak peek of the next car that I'm going to be working on the channel. All right, so some of you might be able to guess what car that is. I'm super excited to start working on that car. So make sure you stay on the lookout for the next car reveal. That video should be coming out pretty soon. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.